What my name means?
Yeah.
Mother of Light. Many, many, many lives, long time ago, I choose darkness. I consciously choose darkness. And I cannot say I chose it because I really, really wanted to experience it, but many of my children, as I call them, they're not all my children, but yes, as you know, as mother, they are all my children, choose darkness. They fell. They followed their own desires and listened to the wrong people, so they fell into darkness. And there's no way as a mother you can let your children go alone. So I followed them, because I wanted to make sure they're okay. So in making sure they're okay, I followed them into darkness, but I also choose not to just be a follower. I choose to be a leader, which means that I always have the power to guide them back into their light and make sure they are okay. Everybody is my child because everybody comes from light. So they're all my children in, of course, not a very physical way, but in this way that I feel responsible. So I always try to look out for everybody, and I try to understand what is the plan for this world, and I try to make people understand that what we all want or what we all need is to have a happy world. That's all we all want. And it's not about, how do I put this in words? It's not about a specific plan. Because people talk about God's plans all the time. And I would, I can only say, I can see this part of the plan. Anyway, that's what I perceive. And that's what I follow. I would not be bold enough to say, I know God's plans. No, I don't. Because that would mean I understand, or I'm close enough to God. But it would mean that I would need to know so many things that I don't want to know. Because there are so many things in this world I do not understand. And I don't always understand God's plans, and at the same time I do understand. There's natural law that we all follow, and I know His plan is for all of us to understand who we are and why we do things. But there are many aspects of this plan I don't get. I don't know why we still have to fight so hard, and why people have to die, and why it has to be so brutal in so many ways. At the same time, I do understand that all of us, all of the children of the light, all of the people in the world want to find themselves again. And God's plan is to allow us all to find ourselves again. And if we have to be crazy and if we have to blow up things in order to find ourselves, then that's what we're going to have to do. So I can tell, I know that is the plan. I don't know how it is executed, and I don't know how it will end, but in my heart I know it's all going to be okay. It is all going to be okay. And because I know that, I keep on doing what I do. Because if I didn't know that, I couldn't. I could not teach, and I could not spread, the love and the light and the path that I so firmly believe in. Because I think if I cannot believe that it's going to be okay, then why am I doing what I'm doing? So that's how I understand God's plan. And that's the only thing I can relate to others too, is to say, okay, I know it will be okay. I am so sure of this. So we can keep on doing what we do, even though we do not necessarily see the happiest, best results at all times. Sometimes we're frustrated because we work so hard, and then it feels like, okay, why did I even do this? Why did I waste 10 years of my life to do this? But they were not wasted, because on this journey, we changed so many things. We changed so many people, we changed the environment, we helped people understand. It may not have the result. I think that's the biggest problem, that we want to understand and we don't. Because God does not just show his plans to all of us, because then we would all say, oh no, let's do this, oh no, let's do this, or just sit back and not do anything. And that's not how it works. We still have to keep on wanting to find ourselves again. We still have to want to become conscious again. We still have to want to become light again. That's what I always say. I want to save the world. I want to make the world a better place. I really do. And I talk to people and I teach people, and I just sit around or drink coffee and I help out in school, because that's my way of changing the world. I try to infuse it with as much love and happiness as I can. And I think that's God's plan, for us to do. This is my gift and I can give it. I'm one of the happiest people I know, because I'm usually always happy. I don't, even when I'm sad, I'm happy, because I can always laugh and make everybody else laugh and make everybody else happy, and just, give them the energy, and then they're like, wow, we can do this, we can do this. Yes, we can. I know we can. Okay? And that's my gift to the world. And your gift is making movies and showing, many more people in the world, okay, what life is about. So I think that's God's plan, always, that we do this, and we come together and we say, yes, let's do this, and then we go again, and you do your thing, and I do my thing, and they do their thing, and then we come back together, and we do things together again, and then we go from there. So I think, for me, that is always God's plan. That's how much I can see. I'd never specify myself as a healer. I'm just me. I do whatever I do. If somebody needs something, they can come, and if I have something, I will give, and it will help them. I don't specifically touch or spray or do anything like that. If I would say any specific technique that comes back to me or that is related to me is garigata, which means showing structures, really making them visible, the structures of your life, the interactions of your relationships, making them visible and helping you releasing what should not be there and finding a good, clear, honest, loving way of communicating. My intention and my choice to serve. I don't believe in not serving, because I think it humbles me and it humbles everybody. And I have a gift, why not give it? There's so much, I get so much in return, and feeding the energy of the world also feeds me, because I know in some way it will come back to me. Need a little bit of that humbleness, of understanding that serving others is not about being a servant or being lower than somebody. It's a choice I make because I have a gift to give. For me, that's really important. Easiest way to deal with pain first is to connect to the pain. Okay, look at the pain. Love the pain. Say thanks for being here because you're teaching me something. Even if I do not understand your teaching right now, but I know you are teaching me something. So that's what I always do. First and foremost, when I have pain somewhere, I say thank you. And then I try to understand what the pain is telling me. What do you want from me? What do I need to do? And as soon as I understand it, even if I don't completely understand, but I always get a little bit, and even if I'm in resistance, there's still a little answer that will come to me. And I try to follow that and say, okay, what do I do with that answer? Because that is the easiest way to deal with pain. And I'm not talking about, pain from operations or something, but I truly believe you can do it there too. Because pain always tells us something, and no matter whether it's self-inflicted, physical, emotional, it always tells us something, and always has a message, and always wants us to listen, because we don't listen. That's why we have pain. We don't listen. We choose not to listen. We know better, but we don't follow. So in some ways, we make sure that we have to listen. Our body has pain, or we have emotional pain. That's our way of making sure that we finally listen to ourselves. I believe we need healing. Anyway, people, at least my age, or, not kids. I don't think so much the children, because I think they have a different ability to heal, and they come with different energies. But for us, we come from a time of polarity, of great pain, of many wars, of things that we've carried over all through our lives, all this pain and sadness we've been carrying. So that's why we need healing, because we've been carrying those things for many lives, and we specifically decided to bring them into this life because we knew with the golden age we would be able to finally heal. And I think for me it starts with deciding, no matter who I am, no matter what I do, no matter my emotions, that's how I start my day. It's the first thing I tell myself, I love you. And then I don't worry about it anymore. Because we get so obsessed, our mind gets so obsessed. Oh, I have to love myself. If I don't love myself, I cannot become whole. But yes and no. Because if you're always thinking about it, you're never going to go anywhere. If you just decide, okay, start your day like that. I love you. I love you. And then it's done. And even if you don't love yourself all day, and even if you don't like yourself all day, but you can remind yourself of that. Even if you only do it once in the morning. I love you. Yes, I love you. Okay. And I think it's just a path, that you take that way. People often ask, why should I have a teacher? First of all, you should not have anything. If it's your heart's desire, then follow that. Okay? The teacher does not take responsibility for your life. He does not tell you what to do or not do. He does not take away your ability to think or make decisions. But what he does, or she, doesn't matter, is your fallback, your support, your hand holder when you need one, your tear dryer, your heart healer. Okay, so for me, a teacher is someone that, first of all, I trust completely, never doubt, never for a moment. I know he always has my best interest at heart. I know he sees a lot of the things I don't see because I'm blind to them, because they concern me. I know I can always come, always. There's never a moment when I cannot ask for help or support. I can go alone like my child, she can get on her bike, she can ride by herself once she's gotten the concept, but she knows I will always be there. I'll run alongside her and I'll make sure she's okay. Okay, but I can also just step back and say, you are fine. Okay, so for me, it's really about these blind spots I have. These issues I have with myself that I cannot solve, that that I've been working on, or that I cannot really get the hang of it. And I can always go and say, okay, I'm not understanding this concept. I need something. Give me something, And he always will. And sometimes it's just like sit down, have a cup of coffee, and stop stressing. Okay? My teacher is that one person I will always listen to. Always. I might not always like what he says. I can be very resistful. I can be very angry when I hear things I don't want to hear. But I will always take them, to heart, and let my system work through them, so that I can come to the point and say, okay, I get it. Okay, understood. Okay, so I think for me, it's not about bowing down, but I don't mind. I don't care. I'll bow down in front of you because there's that divine part of you that I happily will acknowledge and bow to, because it's wonderful, amazing, the person you are. So for me, that's not the issue. It's not like I'm giving myself up and not being a person anymore. I'm still me. I can still think. I'm still free. People think they're not free, but that's not true. I'm always free. I don't have to do anything. That's my choice. My teacher is my choice. When I ask for an opinion, it is my choice. When I ask for help, it is my choice. So I think, your teacher can be the best best thing in the world. It's like, the parent that never leaves you. Okay, that voice of reason that you need to hear sometimes. That hand that you can always take. The path that will always be, in front of you for you to follow if you don't see it anymore. The light carrier. It's like all this rolled in one person, And for me, the best thing about it is he's always home. It's like he's always my home. If I feel lost, if I don't know my way anymore, I can be home. All I have to do, I have to connect. I don't have to see him. I can just connect on the inside. And I'm home. And I'm okay. Because when I'm home, for me, I'm okay. And that for me is the greatest thing and the best gift in the world. That I know, I am never lost. Never. There's always that one person, no matter what else happens in my life, that one person that allows me to feel I am home. And again, I am loved, I'm respected, and I'm supported, and I'm just home. Whatever path you choose is your path because you decide to take it. And it will make you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, then you need to change course. But I think that's what we do, And lucky for us, there are so many paths. And so many of them are exciting. And even if you feel like you've taken a wrong one for a little while, it will still lead you to where you want to go. Because I think we learn, like we did just now, we learn to trust ourselves. We learn to trust our instincts. And for me, it's like, this is the path I decided on. It's the best path for me. Because it suits me. It's fast, it's easy, it's interactive, it is communicative. It has so many varieties, It's so exciting because I get bored. Many people get bored. You don't want to sit, I don't. Anyway, many people maybe do, but I don't want to sit down somewhere, in meditation all day long, 12 hours, and just sweep the floor. I don't. I need and want excitement. I want life. I want to meet people. And I think many people are that way, so you will always choose a path that matches you somehow. And if you let go of your mind and allow your heart to choose the path, it will always be the right one. I work very hard here, and sometimes working hard does not mean teaching anything. It just means, you have to tear down the walls and put in new floors and shovel the dirt. That's part of the path. But it has to, for me, it has to change. I don't want to do that like forever. I want variety. I want fun. I think our path should be fun because for me, it's all about happiness and love. If I can't be happy, why am I doing this? Because I think we as people, as persons, as humans, that's what we deserve. We deserve love and happiness. I think that's what we want also. And that's, and it's not fake. Because for me, it's like, my life is hard sometimes and we have to work hard. And it's not always easy. You have to overcome yourself. But hey, I'm happy. And what more could I ask for? So for me, it's the perfect life, the perfect path. We come here to experience ourselves. We need to learn about all aspects of beings, of all aspects of the world, all aspects of our own being. Because we are light, but darkness is part of the light. Perfect darkness is perfect light. There's no difference between the two. The difference comes from incarnating and going into polarity, where we separate light and darkness. And then we choose one of the two. And, it's fun to be in darkness for a while. It gives you ultimate power. It's fantastic. You can be a badass. You can do all those things that you cannot do when you're light, or that you're not supposed to do, because we say, it's like this holiness, and it's good to experience that, and it's good to consciously experience that, and it's good to allow yourself to be part of that, and to remember that part too. I'm not saying it's good to be bad, but on the other hand, if you're never bad, how are you going to know you're good? Because being human, living in polarity, means we have to experience. And experience means knowledge, and consciousness. So we're really just trying to become conscious again, because we forgot all about ourselves. And then we started that path on getting to know ourselves again, because we come from light, we want to be light. So it's this constant path of, okay, I was light, it was really boring, because in the end you do nothing, you are, that's it. So there's this point where we all decided, okay, it's good to experience something different. Again, it's all about the fun, we want to have fun, we don't want to just sit around and not do anything. So we have to experience every little bit of the path, which I think we did not necessarily know before we started this journey. We thought, we play a little bit here and then we can go back. No, it does not work this way. If you decide to play, you have to play every single aspect until you can come back into consciousness of light. I think the main problem is that the main players do not recognize themselves yet. Okay, you have, I cannot presume to say I know everything, but I know that there are key players, that have that power to change this. We're working so hard, we've been working so hard ever since we know this is what we're working on. So we're working so hard on changing, on making people understand like you are, trying to get them to understand that first of all, it's okay to be different. It's okay to believe whatever you want to believe, and that whoever does not believe what you believe is not a bad person. They are just different. They look at life from a different perspective. But we have key players that can achieve peace, key players that can achieve what we're trying to fight for or work so hard for. And they are not consciously aware yet of who they are and what they can actually do. So we're still really working hard to make everybody understand who they are. Who are you? What is your task? And as soon as you understand, then if I can, I will try to push you to do. Because ultimately that's what we want, for everybody to recognize who they are and then fulfill themselves. Because if they do, then we're going to be okay. Everybody's going to be okay. Many people will tell you are so crazy to trust your heart. How can you trust your heart? Because people associate heart with emotions, but I don't. Because my heart is my guide. And it's not because of my emotions. It's just because here, whatever I know here is true. Here I know there are so many thoughts I think about myself, about the world, or that others think. And then, I take in, and they just kind of mumble everything. It can never stay clear enough. But here, none of those thoughts matter. Many people do that. They blame their parents for their bad life. I'm like, really? Why don't we assume, in most cases, that our parents try to do their best? They try to do as good as they know how to. Maybe, yes, I will do things differently. Does not mean they did bad things. It just means they did what they could. As an adult, I'm responsible for myself, not my parents. So my responsibility is to say, I love you, thank you very much, and this is my life. And I'm taking responsibility for my life. And nobody's interfering, because it's my responsibility. So that's the first step, really, to stop blaming somebody or circumstances for your life, because it's your choice at any given point, even if bad things happen. It's your choice. My mom died when I was 9 years old. It was really tough. It's really tough when you're a small child and have brothers to lose someone that close to you. But I cannot blame her for leaving me, and I cannot say, I have a bad life, because no, it's not true. I never did have a bad life. It's painful, and it stays painful for the rest of your life. Does not mean my life choice depends on that I lost my mother. No, it doesn't. My life choice depends on what makes me happy. And I think that's the second step for me always, is when people talk to me and say, okay, don't blame somebody else, because it's your choice what you do with your life. And, make it a choice to be happy. If whatever you do, wherever you are, does not make you happy, I would say it's the wrong choice. Choose differently. That's what self-responsibility means for me. For me, all religions are about service. They might not live it that much, but it is about service. The priests serve their community, but the people also serve the priests. They serve the church. I think a lot of the energy has been lost, but I think the idea is a really good idea. It's just, over the times, I think it's gotten so rigid, so tight that there's no room to grow. You always have to follow rules. But it's not bad to learn about it. I think it's great to know. How do people think? How do they relate to God? How do they relate to their spirit? How do they relate to their spiritual guidance? And everybody finds different words for that. And for some, they need that rigidity. They need the closeness. They need to have someone tell them every single step of the way. And through that, they can find what they're looking for. For others, it's not okay. Doesn't mean I'm that much into religion. I'm not. But I do believe it's really important for some people. Devotion is action and doing. Doing and giving and loving and being and everything.